Hello everyone and welcome to the Perfume Realm. My name is Manahil and today's video is going to be my top 10 most unique fragrances in my collection. But before we get started, I just wanted to say, if you're interested in joining the realm, I highly suggest clicking the subscribe button as well as the bell notification so you can stay up to date on everything that is happening here. Also, when you guys subscribe to me, it is supporting me, it is telling me that you love my content, and it just really helps me grow. Anyways, let's get started. The first perfume in my most unique fragrances is going to be Kulfi from L'Aromatica. Now this perfume reminds me of my childhood. When I was younger, I still eat it now, but Kulfi is a traditional Pakistani ice cream dessert. And I used to eat it all the time when I was younger, especially when I didn't care about what I was eating. It's this beautiful, dense, creamy ice cream, and it comes in various different flavors like mango and pistachio. My favorite is Malai, which is the original. And this perfume right here really does a beautiful take on Malai Kulfi. So there is a beautiful vanilla in here, but the coconut and sandalwood is really added to create that dense, creamy profile that is so characteristic of Kulfi. Another thing is, I really feel like this perfume pays homage to the beautiful note of cardamom. Cardamom in here shines. There is cardamom and saffron, which are both kind of sweetened spices that are found in Kulfi. It's a very aromatic scent, and I really think that L'Aromatica knocked this fragrance out of the park. It is very unique and I love it. I really love it. It's delicious. The next unique fragrance in my collection is La Danza de Libellule from Nobel 1942. I am obsessed with this perfume. It is this beautiful apple pastry scent, and it really bakes on your skin and goes through an entire experience, which I am just, literally head over heels over. So in this, the opening actually has red apple and lime. So I really do pick up on this really nice fresh apple. However, I think that the lime kind of creates this sort of tartness and makes me pick up on green apple rather than red apple. There's also cinnamon in here, vanilla, just all of the ingredients that you need to create a beautiful apple pie or apple pastry. To me, this is very whimsical and it is so well done, and I'm just blown away by this fragrance. I don't think I have anything else that is similar to this, and I don't think I've ever run across another fragrance that is similar to this. One that literally walks you through the entire baking process, from really tart, fresh apple, juicy, yummy, all the way to a tender apple that has been baked, and it's just perfect and I love it. The next unique fragrance in my collection is Lavandes Trianon from Maison Lancome. Now this perfume, I guess technically it wouldn't be considered very unique. It is a lavender vanilla fragrance, and there are many like that on the market. However, the take that this does on a lavender vanilla fragrance is unique to me. So it has this beautiful milk note, which makes it lactonic and milky and creamy and just so yummy. To me, this smells like fresh lavender that has been put into a glass of cold milk, and then there's also sugar crystals that have just been spooned in there. So these sugar crystals are very undissolved and they kind of sit at the top and just make this such a bright and beautiful perfume. But the reason this is so unique to me was the lavender, because it really retains the freshness, it really retains the beautiful aromatic property of lavender. However, the added milkiness, the milk note and the vanilla note makes it a gourmand. But I don't know how to explain it. It's a gourmand, but not the kind that you want to really eat. You can tell it's a gourmand, but kind of in a fantasy type of way. You don't really want to eat a lavender based dessert, but this one, in the little fantasy way that they created it, which makes it so unique, is definitely one that kind of has that gourmand touch to it. Next up, I have the show-stopping Hedonist from Viktoria Minya. So the opening of Hedonist is rum and peach. The peach is so overripe. It's literally on the point of spoilage, but not there yet, like kind of on the verge. And then the rum together create this beautiful honey-like accord. And I just love honey in general, so I find the honey to be this really unrestrained, really sweet, almost saccharine sweet type of a honey, very sticky. And then underneath you have tobacco, you have vetiver, you have osmanthus, these really big girl notes, honestly, that keep this from being like a sweet childlike fragrance. To me, there's nothing, you know, sweet and innocent about this. This isn't very playful. To me, the name is perfect. A hedonist is somebody who just always seeks pleasure, and this one is definitely full pleasure, nothing holding it back, and it's a very dirty type of sweetness to it. And I do think that the tobacco in here and the vetiver in here really add to that kind of darkness and dirtiness to it. Honestly, the tobacco in here reminds me of the kind of tobacco you would find in a Swisher Sweet or like a White Owl, a Backwood, you know, something like that. I honestly feel like the tobacco is very similar to a Swisher. And then you have the really, actually this is a good way of describing it. Let's say that you have a Swisher Sweet and it is a honey flavored one, and you open it up and there's like rum poured all over, there's peach juice that is like seeping into the tobacco. All of that is what I smell in Hedonist by Viktoria Minya. This is a very unique fragrance, and the more I have, you know, gotten to know it, the more I have fallen in love with this fragrance. And I really need to start wearing it a lot more. I usually have it like closed up in its little case, and I need to take it out so I can actually put this to use because it is just so beautiful. The next perfume on this list might come as a shock for some people because it is a mainstream designer fragrance, and this is Dolce Garden. I find this perfume to be so unique. It is a complete deviant when it comes to the typical fruity, floral, gourmand fragrances. To me, the waxy magnolia note is really what does it in this perfume. It just creates a very thick density to it, almost like a humid type of effect. To the point that I really don't enjoy wearing this in the heat. I think that in the winter or like in colder temperature, this really shines, but it can actually be very overwhelming and cloying in the heat because that waxy magnolia, it's hard to break through. There's nothing translucent about this. So yes, I find Dolce Garden to be polarizing, but definitely a unique fragrance in my collection. Okay, next up we have Alien Essence Absolue. So you guys, over time, I have really come to love this perfume. When I first got it, I wasn't impressed because it seemed very similar to the original Alien, and so I wasn't super wowed by it. But the more that I have owned it, like the longer that I have owned it and tried it on, the more I've fallen in love with it. But not only that, I also found out it is very unique. Not only does this pull compliments like crazy, but it has all of the jazz from the original Alien and then just kind of amped it up to another level with the added vanilla. So when I say the jazz from the original, I mean literally like the jasmine as well as the spirit of the original Alien. Alien, I feel like, was quite a breakthrough fragrance in the perfume world, in the perfume realm. And I really think that they, you know, did justice to the original scent by keeping that beautiful, bold, loud jasmine that it is known for, but it removes all of the screechiness from the original with this beautiful vanilla that kind of caramelizes at the end. In the opening, there's almost a mentholated feel to it. I really do feel like there's a little bit of a menthol cooling type of scent, as well as this interesting root beer thing going on in the beginning too. So yes, this is a very unique fragrance, and I'm so happy that I have kind of given it a few more tries and really started to appreciate it to a whole other level, and I've actually been wearing it a lot, so it's kind of getting a little bit of a dent. So anyways, Alien Essence Absolue. The next perfume in my collection that is super unique is Lacoste Sensual for Women. Here's the thing, this perfume is not sweet, which nowadays is, you know, not a very common trope in women's fragrances. Most of them are sweet. This one has a very bitter edge to it, a very sporty, bitter type of edge to it. So this perfume has two notes that make it really, really interesting to me. It has nougat as well as gladiolus. So nougat is not inherently a sweet type of note. It's very nutty, so there is a nuttiness to this, and gladiolus is a note that has, you know, a slight floral scent, a slight freshness to it, as well as like a very, very slight green bitterness to it. And this is what Sensual is all about. It is bitter, it has pink peppercorn and black currant and black pepper, and so it has this darkness, but it also has kind of a floral core, and the bitter elements that are surrounding it really kind of deconstruct the flower and make it a whole new thing. And the nougat in here is just so interesting to me. It's like they bottled nougat and added a little bit of florals to it, and I have really been enjoying this one over the summer. It really has great longevity, and also it isn't sweet like I mentioned, so it's like perfect to wear in really hot weather. And for me, this is me, you know, going a little crazy, stepping out of my sweet little gourmand box. Okay, the next perfume, you guys know how I feel about this one. It is Black Orchid from Tom Ford. This is hands down one of the most unique fragrances I have ever come across in my entire life. I know that there have been houses that might have tried to replicate this scent. I don't think anyone has gotten anywhere near the majestic, regal quality that Black Orchid has. This stuff is, to me, if Tom Ford put this in their private collection, this is something I would shell over like $500 for it easily, way faster than for Lost Cherry, which I actually did buy and was not impressed with at all, because to me it is really something special, and it is very polarizing. People fall on one end or the other. Very few people fall in between. It is definitely a love or hate fragrance. This has jasmine, this has incense, it has vetiver, it has chocolate and truffle, just so many beautiful bold notes put together with this kind of like something a little bit off to it. I'm not really sure what it is. I don't feel like it's indole, because I don't feel like it's the jasmine. Maybe it is. There's something a little off. It could be the indole from the jasmine. Who knows? There's a ton of different notes in this one. This one stands on its own, and it just makes me feel like, you know, the queen of the world. It really does make me feel like a queen when I am wearing Black Orchid from Tom Ford. My next most unique fragrance is So Hooked on Carmella from Benefit. This was one of the first perfumes I ever bought for myself, and it has a very, very warm place in my heart. However, it is not just because of the sentimental love that I have for this perfume. I really think that this is the ultimate caramel fragrance. Like, I have never come across a caramel fragrance that is this yummy. To me, this is like taking a spoonful of sticky, melted, gourmet caramel, like, you know, handmade caramel, and just sticking it in your mouth. That is how sweet this is. Very sweet. However, there is rhubarb in this, which really kind of makes it a little bit more sophisticated, or at least like less childish and like, you know, silly. It really gives it a little bit more of a composition. This has Amalfi lemon in it, which the lemon and the caramel combination in this really is so delicious, and it is nothing like Lyra or El de la Olympica or what is the other one, or Love and Crime. So what I did was I went ahead and like went through the entire internet trying to find another bottle of this, and I finally found one, and it was marked up insane. Like it was triple the price that it used to be, but I had to have it because it's just an incredible perfume, and it really does have that sentimental value, and it has the incredible scent. So like together it's just like a very necessary perfume for me to have a backup bottle of. So this is the So Hooked on Carmella from Benefit. And the very last unique fragrance that I'm going to share with you guys, you all know that I adore this perfume, and it is Guimave from Reminiscence. Now stay with me for a second. So the reason I find this to be such an incredible scent, and you know, when you hear Guimave, which means marshmallow, you're like, oh, this is just another silly, marshmallowy, girly, you know, light-hearted fragrance. To me, I find this to be very, very sophisticated. This isn't like a store-bought package of marshmallows. This is like a gourmet marshmallow created by the finest chef in the world. And the entire fragrance to me really starts off strong with the beautiful herbal opening. It has lavender, it has rosemary, it has mint. So to me, this kind of gives the perfume this aromatic, very bright, lively, inviting type of a scent in the opening. There's also a beautiful neroli in here, which you can pick up on. That's what really kind of makes the perfume a little bit more interesting. It has tonka, it has vanilla. It is so beautiful. And then there's a beautiful musk in this as well that really aerates the entire perfume, keeps it, you know, like I said, very fluffy, the same consistency as a marshmallow, but that herbal opening and all of these adult notes that are in here, like the neroli, really make this a special fragrance that really stands out to me among the many other fragrances that I have in my collection. So the beautiful Les Notes Gourmandes line from Reminiscence, Guimave. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up my video for today. So I did actually get a camera because I wanted to create better quality content for you guys. However, I am still figuring out how to use it because it is a lot more complicated than I thought, and you know, hats off to all of the photographers out there. You guys are talented. I am lost, and I've been watching a ton of videos and everything, so you know, bear with me while I try and adjust the quality and get it to where it needs to be. If you enjoyed this video or any of my content, please be sure to give this video a like, share with a friend, and again, subscribe. And also down below in the comments, let me know what fragrances that you own that are super unique. I love checking out unique, unheard of fragrances, or even if they're not unheard of, just, you know, fragrances that are a little bit different. I really love checking those out, so definitely share with me down below in the comments. Let me know if you have tried any of the fragrances that I showed here, or if you want a deeper review on any of these fragrances. I have a bunch of videos lined up for you guys that are going to be coming soon, so again, just bear with me. Thank you guys so much for sharing your valuable time with me here today as we chat about perfume. I hope you all have a good one. Bye.